Jason. Where am I? When Jason opened his eyes, he discovered himself in a dark pit surrounded by shadows. He attempted to sit up, but a sharp pain shot through his chest. He looked down to see his body covered in cuts and bruises. Jason. What the hell happened? Suddenly, the sound of voices filled the pit, and 3 figures emerged from the shadows. They were rough-looking men, covered in scars and tattoos, and they all had weapons in their hands. First man. Well, what do we have here? A new challenger? Second man. Looks like he's barely even conscious. This should be easy. Third man. Boy, you better get up, because you're about to fight for your life. Jason gazed around and spotted a ladder heading out of the pit, but 3 men were obstructing his path. He knew he had to fight his way out if he wanted to escape. Jason. I don't want to fight you guys. Just let me pass. First man. Ha 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 ha. Do you think we're just going to let you walk out of here? You're going to have to earn your way out, boy. Jason tried to reason with the men, but they were beyond reason. They were determined to fight, as was he. He knew that he had to use the powers that Zeus had given him if he wanted to survive. The men charged at Jason, raising their weapons high. Jason summoned all of his strength and struck the first man with a bolt of lightning from his fingertips. The second man sprang for Jason, but he was too quick. He dodged the blow and delivered a hard punch, sending the man crashing to the ground. The third man was the toughest of the group, but he was no match for Jason's superhuman strength and his trusty dog. When the dog sensed his master was in danger, he sprung into action, biting and clawing at the man's legs as Jason and the man engaged in furious hand-to-hand combat. The man, distracted by the dog, was unable to defend himself as Jason delivered a powerful punch that knocked him to the ground. Jason stood panting, his body battered and bruised, but alive. He looked down at his dog, who was wagging his tail happily. He made his way up the ladder, out of the pit, and into the unknown world of the Underworld. He had no idea what awaited him, but he knew that he had to find a way out and return to the land of the living. As they journeyed deeper into the Underworld, they encountered a variety of challenges and obstacles. They had to navigate through dark and treacherous caves, avoiding stalactites and stalagmites that threatened to impale them at every turn. They had to outwit the treacherous creatures that lurked in the shadows, including snakes and spiders that sought to poison them with their venomous bites. They had to evade the cunning underworld denizens that sought to stop them at every turn, including vengeful ghosts and malevolent spirits that sought to claim their souls. These difficulties did not stop Jason and his dog, nevertheless. They fearlessly engaged in combat, overcoming every barrier in their way with power and cunning. Working as a team, they supported one another at their most trying times by drawing on their unique bond. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they arrived at the gates of Hades' realm. Standing before them was the mighty 3-headed dog, Cerberus, who guarded the gates and kept the souls of the dead from escaping. Jason. I am Jason, a mortal who has been sent on a mission by Zeus. I must speak with Hades and plead for his aid. Cerberus. No mortal may enter the realm of Hades unless they can defeat me in battle. Jason. Then I accept your challenge. In a fierce battle, Jason and his dog squared up against Cerberus. The 3-headed dog was a formidable opponent, but Jason and his dog were on an equal footing. They fought with all their might, using their abilities and skills to outmaneuver and defeat their opponent. Both sides continued to engage in combat without exhibiting any signs of defeat. Cerberus was a formidable opponent, and he was not about to allow Jason and his dog to get away lightly despite their best efforts. As the battle raged on, tragedy struck. In a moment of distraction, Cerberus managed to strike a deadly blow, killing Jason's dog in the process. Jason. No! My dog! Jason, furious at the loss of his beloved buddy, gathered all his strength and unleashed a final attack on Cerberus. He battled with all of his strength, using every ounce of power and skill at his disposal. In the end, he managed to strike a decisive blow, cutting off one of Cerberus' heads with a bolt of lightning. Cerberus. Ah! You will pay for this, mortal. Cerberus had lost one of his heads, but he was still alive. He was a strong being who wasn't about to be taken down easily. Jason was aware that he had prevailed in the battle and had shown Hades that he was deserving of his time. Hades. Well done, mortal. You have proven yourself worthy of an audience with me. What is it that you seek from me? Jason. I seek a way out of the underworld and back to the land of the living. I know that it is not easy to leave your realm, but I beg of you, please grant me the means to return to the world above. Hades. I understand your desire to return to the living, but you must understand that the underworld is the final resting place for the souls of the dead. It is not meant to be escaped. Jason. I understand, but I have been entrusted with a mission by Zeus, and I cannot complete it if I am trapped here in the underworld. Please, I beg of you, grant me a way out. Hades. Very well. I will grant you a way out, but you must promise me one thing in return. Jason. Anything, just please grant me a way out. Hades. You must promise me that you will return to the underworld one day and take my place as the Lord of the Dead. Jason. I don't know if I can make that promise. Hades. Then you cannot leave the underworld. The choice is yours, mortal. Jason. Please, Hades. I beg of you. There must be some other way. Can't you bring my dog back to life? He was a loyal companion, and he didn't deserve to die. Hades. I can bring your dog back to life, but there will be a price to pay. Are you willing to pay for it? Jason. Yes, anything. Just please bring my dog back. Hades. Very well. I will bring your dog back to life, but in return, he must serve as my loyal servant in the underworld. He will possess the powers of Cerberus and guard the gates of the underworld alongside him. Jason. I don't know. That seems like a heavy burden for my dog to bear. Hades. It is the only way. If you want your dog to return to life, this is the price you must pay. Jason. Very well. I agreed to your terms. With that, Hades summoned the spirit of Jason's dog and infused it with the powers of Cerberus. The dog returned to life, now possessing the strength and abilities of the mighty three-headed dog. Hades. Your dog is now a loyal servant of the underworld. He will serve alongside Cerberus and guard the gates of the underworld. Remember, mortal, you have made a promise to me. Do not forget it. With that, Hades opened a portal to the land of the living, and Jason and his dog stepped through it, leaving the underworld behind and returning to the world they knew.